What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about the brand new 2019 Corvette Zr1. Two of my favorite YouTubers, Zr1 and Vehicle Virgins, I believe, are completely wrong about this car. If you're a true Chevy fan, if you're a true Corvette fan, I think you're going to agree with me. Stay tuned to find out why. Let's talk about the numbers. 755 horsepower. Holy shit. 715 foot-pounds of torque. Also holy shit. We've got a brand new rear wing in the back. There's two versions. You can get the high-rise wing and the low-rise wing. The high-rise wing, which makes 950 pounds of downforce on the rear of the car, of course, making it an absolute track weapon. We've also got 13 heat exchangers on the car with 2 additional radiators. A big issue with the previous generation Z06 Corvette, obviously, as everybody knows, was the overheating. There was issues when people were taking it out to the track. It was heat soaking. It was going into limp mode. Chevy obviously figured this out. Also have 2 new enlarged air inlets in the front of the car, pictured here, that they widened to allow for more airflow to come into the car. Oh, I can't speak today. Under the hood, we've got a brand new Eaton supercharger that's pushing 52% more air than the previous generation Z06, of course, which is what's getting it to that 755 horsepower number, and which is why the torque is not up to spec of what the Z06 was. Of course, you've got 650 in the previous Z06, but as you're upping the boost, the torque is going to drop down a little bit because obviously you are dealing with the same 6.2 liter engine, which they're now calling the LT5. In terms of aesthetics, of course, you're looking at the air inlets on the side of the car. Obviously, the brand new rear wing. Now we'll talk about the elephant in the room, the Sebring Orange. As you can tell, the car was released in Dubai a week ago, and it came out in that new Sebring package, is what they're calling it, which gives you that beautiful orange color. Almost as good as the Volcano Orange of McLaren. Not quite as good. We'll have to see in person, get it out into the actual sunlight, see everything like that to tell. But I'm liking it. GM is branching out on their colors, so that's always a bonus. You get the usuals, the orange brake calipers, orange seat belts it sounds like it comes with, and I'm sure there's going to be some other orange things inside of the car. Just so everybody knows that you're a pumpkin that's driving around. So there's that. So those are all the brand new things about the Zr1 that really stood out to me. And of course, you've got all the usuals that Chevy brings to the party. Carbon ceramic brakes that are gigantic. Magnetic ride control, which is what they pioneered that supercars use today. You've got the heads-up display on the dash, and of course the performance data recorder, so as you're tearing it up on the Nürburgring, you can see what your own track times are. If you guys are fans of Vehicle Virgins or Zr1, which you probably are since he's a big Corvette channel, you probably have seen their recent videos talking about the brand new Corvette Zr1. Here's why I believe pretty much most of what they said is wrong. We'll start with Zr1 since he's a main Corvette channel. Now, a couple of weeks ago, he came out with a video because a supposed leak about the Corvette Zr1 in a Car and Driver article leaked supposedly all this information about the car, and he said he was really disappointed about the Zr1. Here's where I have a big problem. There is so much fake information these days online, it's ridiculous. What he talks about in his video is that the car has 750 horsepower, 680 foot-pounds of torque or something. Obviously, that information was not correct. Now, he does also mention that the car is a little bit heavier, which is absolutely true. Yes, the car is heavier. You're adding parts like the heat exchangers, the additional piping, the rear wing on the back. Of course, that's going to add weight to the car. However, the figures that he stated are just completely wrong. And that's not his fault. It was leaked to the internet. Everybody thought all that information was correct. But we can't be judging cars based off of this leaked information and say that the car is going to be great or that it's not going to be great based on that info when it was completely wrong. I'm sure all of you guys have seen all that fake information on the Camaro Z28 that's supposed to come out as well with a dual overhead cam, LT5, and 700 plus naturally aspirated horsepower, and all those fake bullshit articles that came out about that car, which of course I made a video a little while back that, again, I called it. That car is not going to exist. And that's almost a little bit of proof as well that that car is not going to exist. We don't have a dual overhead cam, naturally aspirated LT5. It's the same engine. They just put a bigger supercharger on it. So that tells me that all that other information about that car is completely false. There's two real points that I don't really agree with that Parker from Vehicle Virgins made about the ZR1 that he doesn't like. Maybe just because he drives a Lambo, he doesn't necessarily understand American cars. The first one being the transmission. I know a lot of people were hoping for that 10-speed auto. Instead, it looks like they're going to put the 8-speed auto in the new ZR1. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Chevy came out and said that, hey, that 10-speed was never made to be a platform for the Corvette. Also, what they said is the transmission is not really needed. The car has so much power and so much torque that they said the 8-speed automatic transmission is actually going to be completely fine. It's not going to drop performance from the 10-speed or anything like that because there is so much torque in the motor that it doesn't need those 2 extra gears. So that's one part where I don't necessarily agree with him, and I think Chevy probably knows what they're doing with their own transmissions, putting it into their own cars. The last thing I'm going to talk about that he mentions is the dual overhead cam, right? I know some people were expecting that dual overhead cam in a brand new LT5, a brand new engine that they were going to come out with, but that's just not Chevy's style. They like to do the cam in block. Number one, the biggest absolute reason is the pricing. It keeps the price down. Corvettes and Camaros, they're known for being the cheap American budget supercars that the average guy can actually afford. They don't want to get away from their roots and start making, $150,000, $170,000 cars. However, with the mid-engine vet, that may be the market that they're going for, but the ZR1 at this point is going to stay at the current market, the current price point that people will buy it at and that they know people are going to buy it at, rather than jumping out and doing something completely new on a car and a platform that people are already familiar with. It also, makes the cars a lot easier to work on. It keeps the center of gravity down in the car, which makes it a lot more trackable, and the engine's smaller, keeping the car lighter overall. Corvettes are already heavy as they are, so I don't think Chevy wanted to add more weight to the car by doing a dual overhead cam when the engines are already so torquey and it's not necessary. The moral of the story here is, don't buy into the fake news online. Listen to Donald Trump. The media is full of shit. They're making stuff up to get clickbait news articles. Wait until the information comes out, then make a video on it. That's the point that I'm making. So that way we're not spreading false information all over the internet about these new cars and people are getting excited, people are getting mad. There's just all kinds of emotion. Question of the day I have for you guys: how much information do you really believe? If you guys are into reading news on cars, what do you believe? What do you not believe? Cars are developing so quickly these days that we have something new every second. There's a new article on it, new speculation. Really hope you guys enjoyed the video here. If you haven't seen those videos, go check them out on Vehicle Virgins and Street Speed 717's channel. I think it'll give you guys an idea of what's really going on and what their opinions are versus what my opinions are. Obviously, they're huge channels. I'm not. Just wanted to make this video, clarify a few things, introduce you guys to the brand new Corvette ZR1. If you really enjoyed it, please throw me a thumbs up. If you loved it, subscribe. Smash that red subscribe button or the little Marcoon thing that's right here. And other than that, I will see you guys next time. Goodbye!